Welcome back to Saturday. My name is Luis if you're new here. Today we're going to be, as you saw in the title, we're going to tell you why, or at least I am. I'm going to tell you why it's okay to be single.
They ask you how you are, you just have to say that you're fine when you're not really fine.
It is okay. It is okay. Because we're about to go through and listen to everybody's worst Valentine's Day stories. Because that, you ain't going to catch me. You ain't going to catch me being the worst Valentine's story. Because I ain't got a Valentine's. It's okay. It's okay. The first comment that I see. I was always single on Valentine's Day. So that is both my best and worst story. Felt. Okay, first one we have here. This girl said, this was 21 hours ago. Baby, this was yesterday. But I guess it didn't happen yesterday. Okay, anyways. It says, guy was dating at the time asked me to be his Valentine and invited me for a date on Valentine's Day. I said yes. He said, let's get each other a gift. Nothing expensive, but I think it would be fun. That's already suspicious. Like, why'd you have to include that part in? And she said, okay, I'm in. Ma'am. I showed up with a heart-shaped box of chocolates. He showed up with nothing. He laughed at me when I gave him the chocolates, and then he says, thanks for dressing up for me sarcastically. I was wearing cute jeans and a t-shirt that fit really well. In parentheses, I look good. I always like to look nice. Tell him. Meanwhile, he was wearing a dirty sweatsuit that he worked in, and he's a personal trainer, with visible sweat stains and had not showered. He then went on to say, I bought cheap drugstore chocolates. She said, at least I bought you a present. The gifts weren't even my idea. I felt like such a dummy giving this guy a heart-shaped box of candy, fully expecting to get something cheesy back like a rose or a teddy bear. Other people in the restaurant, they were at a restaurant? This was in public. Oh my god, no. This is already going horribly. Other people in the restaurant very clearly clocked what was going on. I got several looks of sympathy / pity from neighboring tables. I didn't even know if I liked him yet. It was our third date. Ma'am. The freaking presents were his idea, and I ended up looking like I was obsessed with him. Before we ordered drinks, I explained to him why what he did was bad, and that if he likes a girl, he should definitely never do it again. Generally, it's considered rude for a person to suggest a gift exchange and then not actually bring a gift. Makes the other person feel like an asshole and reveals the suggester to be an asshole. I also suggested to take a shower and wear some real clothes on the date next time. He showed up. It was a date. He showed up to the restaurant in trainer clothes, stinky sweat stains on display, and y'all sat down like that?
Disgusting!
You don't see anything wrong with negging me for not dressing up? Well, you showed up in a nasty workout gear. My outfit is casual, but we are at a casual restaurant, and I'm clean and I look nice. You aren't even clean. I can smell you from across the table. Good hygiene is kind of the bare minimum requirement as far as appearance goes in dating. Baby, not even in dating. In general living human experience, like, if you look dirty, you look dirty. Like, that's not, like, you do not have to be dating someone for you to not want to look dirty. He couldn't even do that. Got up, told him to keep the chocolates, and I left. Learned my lesson. He looked totally shocked that I was leaving and acted like I was a psycho. Like I was a psycho bitch. Since then, I only get someone a gift when asked for Secret Santa. Otherwise, if you want to give me a gift, go ahead. If I want to give someone a gift, I will make that decision on my own. Never again. I hope he ate the chocolates and cried and got a cavity. Tell him! I hope he got cavities too. And he probably can't even fucking afford them. That was crazy. In public. Oh my god. See, guys, this is why you stay single. Story number 1 as to why you should stay single. Like, why even risk that? Why are we even risking that? Why is that the third date? What happened on the first 2 dates? Like, what made you want to go on the third? Did he even pay for the food? If he paid for the food, go ahead, girlie, get your bag, get your free meal. But if he didn't pay for the food, ma'am, because it doesn't sound like he would. Me personally, if he didn't even buy you a cheap corner grocery store gas station gift, he is not paying for your food. He's not. And do not lie to me. My ex planned a Valentine's Day camping trip as my January birthday present. I thought that was super cute. Then he invited 3 of his friends. Less cute. Like 2 days before the trip, one of his friends called to say he had COVID. Okay, but he was still coming on the trip. Well, no. What do you mean? I told him that I didn't want to go camping with his friend and risk getting COVID. I thought this was reasonable and that he would just talk to his friend. Instead, he told me I should just stay home. I'm sorry. He said I would much rather risk getting COVID by my friend than go camping with you. And this is her birthday present. This is her birthday present. And he said stay home. He's like, I'm gonna go celebrate your birthday with my friends and go get COVID together. The cute is gone along with my birthday present. They all went camping without me. They went. On actual Valentine's Day, I went to hang out with my own friends and have dinner at their house. While my bestie was cooking, I was hanging out in the kitchen, just yapping. She had a candle on the counter that I did not pay enough attention to. And yep, I accidentally caught my hair on fire directly up the middle, leaving the middle super short and sides unscathed. Luckily, I wasn't hurt physically, just horrified. It smelled so bad. During the freakout that naturally ensued, he called me a few times. When I finally got myself together and called him back, he somehow made me catching my hair on fire about himself. What do you mean? What did he say? Ended up crying and cutting my own hair in the shower because I had to go to work the next day. We broke up when he got home. So you didn't get a birthday present or a Valentine's. And you had a man. See, guys, like, it's not worth it. It's not worth it. It's not worth it. Last Valentine's, I spent with my ex. I made us a lovely dinner. Lamb shoulder chops, roasted fingerling potatoes, and a salad. Okay. He got home from work, ate, and started a fight with me over nothing so he could retreat to a bar and hit on much younger women. I stayed home and cried, texted my mom about it, and left for a few days to stay with my folks. I found out a couple months later he began cheating on me during that time. And I saw a TikTok. I did see a TikTok talking about I may be single on Valentine's Day, but at least I'm not getting cheated on Valentine's Day. Well, see, this is why men just aren't, like, whenever they figure out, didn't they figure that out already? Isn't there something already where, like, you don't need a man to reproduce? Right? Like, y'all can do it on your own. We could go instinct and the world would be fine. I'm willing to take that sacrifice for y'all. You're thinking it too. There's no way. You could be gay, you could be a they, you could be a man, you could be a straight man. I don't care. We should all go extinct. It's just better. Well, actually, the gays can stay because they're not going to reproduce. We're not even going to do that. Yeah, we can't even do that. So it's okay if we stay. It's okay. But then there's those gays. No, we got to go. We got to go because then there's those that get a little drunk and then they sleep with a girl, and then all of a sudden there's another one, and then that one turns out straight. No, we just got to end the cycle. We'll take the sacrifice. The world would be so much better for it, and there's really no benefit. There's no benefit. This went from Valentine's Day to the extinction of men. That actually, it tracks. Mine's probably very minor compared to others. My first Valentine's with a boyfriend in my early 20s. He asked me if I like stuffed animals. I say no because I've always found them annoying. He gets me one anyway. Like I said, minor, but a good example of why that relationship didn't work out. He said, "You don't like that? I don't care." All right, ready, women? This one is for the women that give their men excuses, because there is absolutely no excuse to not do anything at all for Valentine's Day, okay? The guy didn't do anything for Valentine's Day. At the time, I didn't think much of it because he always said he was broke. But then my sister pointed out some pretty damning stuff. 1, he works at Domino's. He knows I love some pizza. He gets free pizza at work, and they make heart-shaped pizza at the place that he knows was my current favorite pizza place. 2, he worked at Domino's, aka he has a job, aka he could get $10 for a freaking pizza. 3, after getting that job, he bought a whole new car. You have the money for a car, but not a $10 pizza? Okay, well, babe, I can take that one away because if he bought a car, then that's why he's broke. Problem number 3, which is technically 4 for her. You don't need to spend money to go on a date. And that's slam poetry. I should have broke up with him way sooner. How long did it take? Oh, here's a long one. My boyfriend at the time and I were in a long distance relationship. We had made plans for him to fly from Europe to California. Oh, that's a long ass distance. To come see me, but he ended up having to cancel on me for some reason. I don't remember why. He spiraled. He got drunk, called me, and told me that he was going to kill himself for being a terrible boyfriend and wanted to hear from me one last time. He was apparently lying in the middle of an empty road, waiting for a car to hit him. I begged him to get up and just go home, but he hung up and stopped answering his phone. I spent the next day and a half grieving, thinking he was dead. That hadn't been his first suicide attempt. And he was almost successful at least once, so I thought that time was it. He eventually called me back to let me know I had succeeded in talking him out of it. But that day and a half before then was the worst experiences of my life. That's why I spent Valentine's Day when I was 21. What is it about men who are like, I'm gonna unalive myself? Over, like, with hers, what happened? Oh, because he was a terrible boyfriend. Ma'am, that's too much. That's too much. Like, what? You couldn't make it for Valentine's Day. Okay, then plan the trip for another time. He said, I'm actually not gonna make any trips from in the future from here on out, and I'm gonna make sure of it. I'm calling your parents. His parents are gone. Assuming they're not. I'm calling your parents, because they need to come get you. Because what is this? It was with my ex. Okay, here we got another one. It was with my ex of 7 to 8 years at the time. Okay, so they've been dating previously for 7 to 8 years. I always had to remind him when big dates were coming up and to make reservations. I'm a big planner. I was always the one making reservations, but I'd had a big heart to heart with him about accountability and needing him to be more present. So he said he'd take care of Valentine's Day. Well, we already know where this is going. On the days leading up to the 14th, I kept reminding him and he kept saying, oh, it's fine. There'll be tons of reservations available. Says every guy in all of history. Like, oh my God. The day rolls around and I thought he'd done it and reserved at our favorite restaurant. Nope, he said that he couldn't find any reservations. Pretty unbelievable, right? And I was just stunned. I cried, but I was mostly angry. I told him I couldn't believe that I mattered so little that he couldn't do this one thing. He had to call 10 to 20 places until he found a steakhouse that had crammed tiny little tables in the middle of the restaurant. Honestly, think that was the beginning of the end. I stayed with him another 4 years? Four years after that, you stayed with this man? Needless to say, he's my ex, and I'm married to the most wonderful man who actually hears what I have to say and takes my feelings into account. Well, hallelujah, we have a winner! We have a winner! We have a winner! She is doing better, hopefully. Now, please be for real. If he didn't do it this one time and you were talking to him and tell him to do that, that means for the last 7 years, he hasn't done that. And it took another 4 years after that. So I understand that you're saying you were with this wonderful man, but I don't know what wonderful is under your standards. I need every woman. I need their women, please, I'll make it for you. We're going to make a bare minimum bar and we're going to have a bunch of stuff listed there. And then we're going to make one above that. And we need to pass both those bars. Men need to pass both those bars. I don't know how long this video is going to be, but we're just going to do one more. Let's do this one. I saw Fight. When my ex picked a fight that the evening of February 13 and then continued it onto the next day so he wouldn't look like the dick he was for not getting me anything or even saying happy Valentine's Day. Didn't work. He still looked like a dick. I was crying literally all day. He didn't talk to me at all until like 8 p.m. that night, and then I still went over to give him his present. A new wallet, since he'd pretended to lose his a few months before so he didn't have to pay for anything. Oh my God, what? What? He pretended to lose it a few months before? Like he hasn't had a wallet for the last few months? And he acted like such an ass. I ended up crying silently next to him in bed. The best part? The fight he picked was because February 13 was the Super Bowl. And he called me after not speaking to me all day and asked me if I was watching. I said, no, you know I don't care about football, in a joking manner. And he blew up at me for shitting on his interests and embarrassing him in front of his friends because I was apparently on speaker. I do not miss him and hope he is having the day he deserves. Baby, this ain't customer service. Just go ahead and say that I hope he's having a shitty ass day. Because what? I hope all of Valentine's Day. I really hope he gets broken up with every single Valentine's Day for the rest of his life. That's what you need to wish for. Embarrassing him in front of your friends, if that's what it took to embarrass you, like, what girl is gonna be, like, statistically speaking, how many girls are into football? And you got mad at, oh my god. So we're just gonna stop right there. If you still want a relationship after hearing all that, all power to you. Don't really have much else to say. Nothing else I could say to maybe stop you from committing those mistakes. But y'all have a happy Valentine's. I know it was yesterday, but some people celebrate all weekend. So if you have something to do, do something alone. Get you a coffee, get you a blueberry muffin, pop on your favorite show, pop in your comfort movie, and don't go through what any of those stories just did. Do not. Please be better. But thank you for watching. Have a good Saturday.